probably do a lot of talking with this boy hanging around with me, hunt buddy. So living abroad has taught me and my wife so much about ourselves. And I think that's probably the first thing to talk about is what living abroad has taught me about who I am and what I love to do and my character even. I know, bud. Let me throw the ball for him real quick. All right, that'll distract him for like 10 seconds. But living abroad has taught me so much about my character and really show me what I really value in life. Since moving abroad, we first lived, my wife and I, in a city of 6+ million people in Guadalajara, Mexico. And that really showed me about how I'm not a city person, how I love to be in nature, and how I get rejuvenated and how my batteries recharge is simply being outside. So that was the first and biggest thing that living abroad has taught me about myself, was how much I love to be outside, how much I love being God's creation, and how God has uniquely created me in that way. But along with that too, I love quietness. Being in a city of 6+ million people for a year really showed me how I need that peace and quietness throughout the week to really help me stay rejuvenated and to lower my stress level. I know it's true for a lot of people, but it's really true for my character and who I am. And since living here in Vallarta now, I have so many more places I can get to, whether it's the beach or out here just in an abandoned field, be in nature and get away from the noise of the city life and of the stress and simply just calm down again and get refocused. But living abroad really brought those two things to the surface, showing me that I really value nature and quietness and how I need to keep those a high priority in my life. Now the second thing living abroad has taught my wife and I is the importance of community. Living abroad, more than likely when you move abroad or even vacation abroad, you're not gonna have a community of friends around you. You're choosing to leave that behind and start a brand new community of where you're choosing to live somewhere else in the world. Now, although there are a lot of amazing aspects of starting a new community, it is also very hard at the same time. Living in a place abroad and an unfamiliar culture and location and just your full routine of life has changed, it can be very hard to deal without friends you used to rely on in the past to hang out with and find comfort. And so we learned very quickly of how important it is to have community around you. Now it may just be a Skype call or a phone call with your family back home to kind of rejuvenate you, which is so great. But also know that living abroad, it'll take time to build a new community of friends, and that's okay. Although yes, it's gonna take time to build those friendships with people, it is so worth it. We've only been in Mexico now for about 2 years now, and it's been a long process, but we can start to see the fruit of the friendships God is placing around us here in Vallarta. And that's so exciting to see the start of a brand new community of friends here in a new place. Since living here in Mexico also, we've learned a lot about our own culture of the United States and as Americans. And one of those biggest things we value as Americans that we've learned since being here in Mexico is how we value order and how we value a routine of life in America. As Americans, we love to show up on time for appointments. We love how there's order on the roads. We love how there's order just in all the daily activities we do in our day. And you really start to learn those things about yourself and your culture by being removed from that and placed in another culture. And you really start to see the things you valued as your culture and as your heritage by being placed in a different situation where that culture doesn't value the same things that you used to value in your culture. Now with that too, you get to apply a lot of new things into your life that you've now learned from this new culture that you're living in. And for us, since being here in Mexico, has taught us a lot about the importance of simply being in the moment and being with people when you're with them. As Americans and in America, I think a lot of times we're so stressed upon sticking to our schedule, making sure we're making our different appointments, that if it's time for us to go to somewhere else or be somewhere else, whatever we're doing, we tend to leave that situation and go meet our next appointment. We're here in Mexico, the lifestyle is very different. If you're at an appointment and you're with somebody, you're with that person until the conversation comes to an end, and then you go on to your next appointment, no matter even if you're running late for that next appointment. Now at times, yes, this can be frustrating if you're that next appointment and you're waiting for that person to come to you, but you also rest assured that when that person does come to meet with you, they're there to focus and be with you and be in the moment until you two are done with your conversation with them. And this is something that Sarah and I have really learned to apply to our lives, how to be in the moment, how to enjoy being present with people and having great deep conversations with them, not worried about the schedule of the day, but really just focused about the moment we are in with the person we're with. But the greatest aspect out of all this and out of living abroad is simply how you get to learn more about God. For us, living abroad in Mexico, as I said, has taught us a lot about ourselves, taught us a lot about our culture, but ultimately has taught us the most about who God is. And this is one of the biggest things why we highly recommend people to travel abroad. Even as for a vacation, it doesn't even have to be for missions. It could be even just for a vacation of traveling abroad. And through that trip of traveling abroad, you're gonna learn more things about yourself, your nature, your culture, and ultimately you're gonna learn more things about God's character. And that is so important, to learn more about who God is and how much He loves the whole world. Is an incredible thing to grasp and understand by traveling more parts of the world to see God portrayed in different lights and different cultures. Now these things are really hard to explain because you really do have to travel abroad to another country and culture to really understand the difference of your culture in comparison to theirs. And when you're placed in their culture, like we said, that's when you really start to notice the difference between you and them. But at the same time, how you're the same person in Christ's eyes, and that's incredible to see. So in closing, I challenge you guys, if you have never traveled abroad, consider doing a trip somewhere in the world. I don't care where you go, but travel somewhere abroad, and I guarantee you will learn new things about yourself and about God. So that is it for this video today. Hope you guys enjoyed being out here in nature where I like to be. If you guys enjoyed it, I hope you guys give this channel a subscribe and this video a like, and I shall catch you guys in the next video. See you later.